Once again, we are struggling to find
Opening.
yes. So
Here
let's
it
just
is.
go with welcome
Let's
to the
just
cooldown
start.
episode
Mm.
because this episode is very light.
hmm
Finally, a good change of topic for once. All right. So what have you
And
planned?
it's, today we'll be discussing about pastimes, in which is and yeah, it is something that everyone can like relate to a certain extent because after all, everyone has free time. I assume. I don't think anyone is that busy. But
There's so many problems with that line.
I mean, okay. I mean, how should I put it? People might be busy to the point that they do not have any free time now, especially in IB. But then when the holiday comes around, okay, actually, the holiday is when even more work comes along. Okay, so okay, so let me put it this way: people would have had pastimes when they had free times in the past. Okay, are you happy now?
You see, now that just complicates things, but I get your point.
Okay. Let's just discuss pastimes. Okay, so what pastimes do you have?
The sleeping count as a pastime.
I mean,
If
pastimes.
any, I think any activity can count as a pastime if you use it to
Pass your time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then
like for example, I like to view sleeping as the one and only form of time travel, monodirectional.
But then what other pastimes do you have though? I mean, you definitely should have other ones, right? As in, do you read a book? Do you play some online game? Minecraft?
Don't really touch.
Chess?
I don't really touch online games a lot anymore. Apart from like the times that our class is on, and then we play with them.
Uh-huh. But wait, I guess.
I guess
uh-huh.
most of my time is spent. Yeah, most of my time is spent in front of my desktop.
But what do you
And
do on your
I
desktop?
open YouTube and everything's there.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable. I think everyone just inevitably gets sucked into what do you call it? The rabbit hole of YouTube. I mean, they just sit there for hours and hours, and then they end up at some very weird video of perhaps like a bunny jumping, hopping or something like recorded on tape. Then some very weird video, and then they're like, oh, how did I end up here? You know? Yeah, I guess it's something that everyone can really relate to a certain extent.
Yes,
Right?
the power of the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, it's somehow from maybe like watching an educational video on maybe the causes of
Nobody
World
watches
War
it.
One.
Nobody watches educational
Are you
videos
sure
from.
though?
I mean, like, okay. I mean, like,
Okay. I mean, okay. To
you
be
know
fair,
what I mean.
it's less. The only times I actually watch educational videos for any subjects were just cause
It's
the
your
exam
homework.
was the next day and I
It's your
didn't know.
homework.
But
It's
then,
your homework to
it's
watch
just your homework,
educational
yeah.
videos. Yes. Right, but since we're talking about YouTube, right?
Mhm.
What do you think people did before
YouTube.
yeah, before like technology exists?
I mean, before that existed, it definitely comprised of a lot more going out rather than sitting in front of a desktop most of the time, which is something I also am guilty of, I would say. And I guess the things they did, I think it's likely that it just involved a lot of physical, like a lot of games, like maybe soccer, frisbee, etc.,
Oh
etc.
yeah, physical games.
And maybe even reading, actually.
Reading
I
is
mean,
one too.
yeah.
You know, okay, so over the years with new technology or just rather the internet, with the internet, our pastimes have evolved for the greater good, at least in my opinion.
They're great, they're great. But
Like
then,
I've told everybody, you know how have I made this joke before? I'm not sure, but I'll just say it again. You know how there are indoor animals and outdoor animals? Yeah, I am an indoor human, and I would like it to stay that way.
okay.
So yeah, technology, good thing. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, at least for me, I find myself passing a lot of my time through technology. So I'm kind of glad that it exists. But then at the same time, I also do not know what a world that doesn't have technology is like. So I can't really comment that much, because I wouldn't know how I would spend my time should technology not exist. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking about when I was young, right? What I did to pass my time. But then I realized that I just substituted when I grew up, I just substituted the television for
YouTube.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
pretty much the
actually.
same thing. I'm just watching something move on the screen.
But the thing is, at least on YouTube, YouTube, it's a lot easier to find what you want to watch because the television is all fixed, right? That's why, yeah, and then all the ads are more, so it's
Oh
a lot
yeah,
less appealing.
advertisements.
Yeah. I guess that's why everyone shifted away from computers.
I don't think so.
Everyone shifted away from TVs. At least the younger generation, I would say. Not okay, maybe not all, but I'll say, like, do you not agree that the younger generation are more likely to watch YouTube than go sit in front of a TV and watch some drama, K-drama?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's much nicer to watch Netflix on your TV than it is to watch Netflix on a not TV.
But then at the same time, you can argue that Netflix is kind of like YouTube, but right? Just
yeah, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So
Before we move on,
Mhm.
when you talked about television advertisements, I just remembered this. So when I was very very young, right, I would do my homework at the coffee table, which was placed in front of the television.
Oh yeah, same.
So you can just guess how productive that was.
I mean, I remember last time, right? I always watch the shows, then during the ads, then I
yeah. Same.
and then right, yeah, then whenever the ad starts, right, I'll just like try to enter a very productive phase. Then if the ad is interesting, I'll go watch the ad and not get anything done. It was
Oh, you basically told the story for me. So it's a universal thing. Glad to hear it. Okay, so that's the evolution of pastimes. Over time, there are more indoor pastimes. Great thing once again. And for us, I moved from a big screen to a slightly smaller screen. I mean, I that's it for that's it for us personally. I'm pretty sure other people do other things that involve
actually,
standing up.
I mean, I did used to make a lot of Lego structures. I think you must have at least seen one, right? Considering you've been to my house before.
No,
No,
actually,
there's
no.
this. If you actually just like look around, there's this big ship that's just located on my study table. There's like huge ship, like half a meter long. What, you actually have never noticed it before?
I
What?
I don't go I don't go into people's houses and observe everything they have in their possession.
Okay, I mean, I'm quite sure I pointed it out to you, but
Well, I
okay.
mean, to be fair, the main attraction in your house is your dog, not your Legos.
That is true.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah, but
let's
okay,
move on,
wait.
right?
But before we move on, right, I should say that it might be quite surprising, right? But before it's because I remember there was a period of time in which my phone kept getting confiscated. Then I actually read a lot. I actually read a lot, which I suppose you'll be surprised by, right?
Yes. Given
Considering
our conversations, I am very surprised.
Yeah, I remember there were nights in which I stayed up until 3-4 o'clock just to finish a book. Yeah.
Are you
those were
lying?
No, I'm actually serious. But then, what do you mean? Am I lying? Are you?
It's just a bit unbelievable, but yeah, regarding reading, there's a lot of like jokes about how our younger selves could read a lot, and then now when we are a teenager and adult, we go, what is a book?
It's just that a lot of people just lose interest, and then also you got a lot of other things you can possibly do when you're older. When you're young, it's not like when you're young, it's not like you can go out, right? Your parents are afraid you just get like ran over by a car because you just don't pay attention and you just anyhow walk, and then they're afraid you get kidnapped, get ran over by a car, get lost in the middle of nowhere, or somehow, yeah, because when you're young, there's just so many things that you can possibly get yourself into that you can't get yourself out of. That's why all you're left with is the TV, your homework, or books, or your phone if you have one.
I never had a phone until I was 13.
I mean, I did
But I had
have
a
a
tablet before
phone.
that,
But
so
then,
haha.
okay, you what before that?
I had a tablet before and just a more inconvenient phone.
Oh. I mean, I did have a phone since I think P3, but then it was like you know those like flip up phones, but then mine was like a car.
Huh?
No, but mine was like I remember actually the phone was like a car, and I was so fascinated by it. And then it was those like I think it was those flip phones, but then it's not the one that you like that you flip it such that you don't flip the screen 180. Instead, you push the screen forward or something in order to extend the phone to show the part where you actually can type stuff in.
I don't understand.
Okay, fine.
But
then.
yeah.
Yeah, but so would you? I mean, would you rather that your pastime was reading rather than playing, like, than being on your laptop half the time watching YouTube videos? Because if you look at it very objectively, right, reading does benefit you a lot more.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of okay. I mean, it's okay. Just think about this. It's much, or at least I think it's much nicer to say, oh, I read for a hobby, as opposed to I play computer games as a hobby. Both are seen as normal, but one is seen as a little bit better.
Yeah, but it's just so rare, It's just so rare. I mean, I I I guess I can only think of really one person that really likes reading a lot. Yeah, yeah. It's like what should I put it? Just liking to read is just so rare, especially since I'm in like the science stream. So people I guess are
Oh,
less.
that's quite possibly a stereotype, but who knows?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
But
I
back,
guess it's too
but,
general to say it.
but back to the point. I think that you know how you go and how when you introduce yourself, you either go, oh, okay. Imagine this. Imagine someone introducing themselves like this. Oh, I'm a reader, as opposed to, oh, I'm a gamer. Who do you think is more?
The reader, of course.
I didn't even say
Yeah,
like
of
what I was about to
course,
ask,
the
but like
reader.
you really went for the reader.
I mean, when someone hears that you're a reader, they're like, huh, an intellectual. When someone hears a gamer, they're like, oh, okay. They do not have a. It's like, how should I put it? The response is just because I guess so many people categorize themselves as, or maybe not categorize, as more of introduce themselves as gamers that you just, people are just like, oh, okay, you're a gamer. But then they do not have a very, like, that is compared to a positive response when they hear that you're a reader. They're like, oh, a reader, wow, okay.
You know how we're currently and like we're not kinda like we are antagonizing computer gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I share my story, just wanna ask you, do you think there is such a thing as a good pastime?
Um. Hmm. Oh, that sure is hard to answer. I mean, is it really a good pastime? I would say that there are pastimes that you can be considered as objectively good and objectively bad. But
Okay,
then,
what is objectively good and objectively bad?
I mean, I guess we can definitely agree that what is objectively good is definitely just reading, right? Because reading, you learn more things. Okay, but that's it. Okay, yeah, for sure. It also matters on how well you understand the text. For example, I remember in P5, I was reading this really thick book. I think it was called Time Travel or something like that. Then I actually didn't even get the plot. I just remember bringing it to school, reading it there, and like trying to look smart, reading a you know how it feels, right? Okay, not P5. I think it was P4 or P3. And we're just sitting there. Then I just take out my book and then I just start looking through it. Then I remember every time I open the book, I just don't remember what's happening in the last freaking like 100 pages I've read. I just read from that point, and then I don't get anything. I still do not get anything. Yeah, so if if someone is reading it that way, like how I did last time, then I'll say that's definitely then that sort of reading would become, I guess, objectively. I wouldn't say it's objectively bad. I'll say it's objectively like neutral, because you can still learn a bit, but then you also don't learn that much, you know.
You know, I was about to ask you whether or not you read that for fun, but turns out you just read that to flex.
I just read that because I found a thick
So
book
I'm
and then
so
I was young.
disappointed.
I mean, I found the thick book and I was young, so I was like, huh, okay, interesting. I just bring it and then, oh gosh, now when I think back, I just wonder what I was doing in my life. Okay, but to be fair, I was young, okay. But then I guess as I grew up, I did find books that I like. For example, you know what's the Cherub series? The Cherub series books.
Not really. I don't
Oh,
think
but
I've heard of it.
basically, I just like for I think Sec 1, Sec 2, I just love those books. So every time I came home, instead of you like every time after you come home, you know how you usually like just settle down. Either I have, or at least for me, usually I just go shower and then start doing work, or go shower and just take a nap, or just take a nap, you know. But then instead, right, back then I would just lie down on the sofa after I reach home. I'll just straight away grab my book and then just lie down on the sofa and just read for hours upon hours. Yeah, I mean for that one, I definitely read it for fun. But
Okay,
then,
well that's a good thing. Well, at least a relatively better thing than reading it flex.
yeah, that and then
But
yeah.
there's this thing that I wanted to complain about.
Okay, wait, but before you go there, right? So I would like to say that objectively bad would just be, I guess many people will say objectively bad is just computer gaming, just cause you damage your eyes, you possibly just get distracted from studies that you're supposed to prioritize, and all that like same things again, you know. Okay, yeah, carry
Okay,
on.
yeah, that was pretty much what I wanted to complain about. Because um, is it an Asian thing or is it like a universal thing? I'm not sure. Because my parents really didn't like me playing games a lot, and from like 2012 to mid 16, all I played was Minecraft.
To mid 16, wait,
Yeah,
2016 or do you mean 2016 or
2012 to
16
mid
years old?
2016 lah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you scared me. Okay, yeah.
I mean 16-year-olds. That was the revival of Minecraft then, but yeah, okay, you get the point.
Yeah, I get the point.
So I literally couldn't
how?
find anything else that I enjoyed doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I really loved Minecraft. I really loved playing Minecraft with my friends. So like I just did that. My parents just didn't accept that, and they classified that as a bad pastime. And I've been lectured many times for my my
Computer gaming addiction.
yeah, I don't want to say addiction because I
It's
don't
too
think I
strong.
was ever
Addicted.
addicted, but
You
yeah,
were.
the norm was, you know, I've written in Chinese essays especially so many times about
Computer.
addiction and
Oh.
stuff, the
Mm-hmm.
this stuff that I absolutely despise.
Mm-hmm.
So that the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't like this classification of what is inherently good and what is inherently bad. My parents always told me to go do other things, and then I ask them what other things, and they're like, I don't know. You're supposed to find these other things and stuff, and I'm like, what?
Oh wow, your parents.
Yeah, they were okay. They were actually really annoying then because all they wanted me to do was not play games.
Mm-hmm,
So
yeah.
the only acceptable activity was not games, and then they would follow up with, no, we don't mean that. We just don't want you to spend so much time. Which is yeah, okay, rant over. Point being, I don't like the the separation, because if you say, if you know the example is, you will damage your eyes, right? If I read for 10 hours a day, isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't like the double standards,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that um pastimes are central to one's identity, you know. it influences the way you think, the way you act, and arguably more importantly, the people you meet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Before we move over to this whole how pastime affects your what's it called? Yeah, affects your personality and all of that, right? I also would just say that. And in 7 2, my parents just loved confiscating my computer also because I was like hooked on what type of game is it? I was hooked on Dota.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
Dota. I've heard it many times.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
about
So basically,
Dota?
I was extremely hooked on Dota, and I just spent you know how okay. I mean, coming to Minecraft, I'll say I'll say it's easier to stop in the middle of Minecraft than it is in like a game of Dota. Most Dota lasts for an hour. Like it lasts from like half an hour to an hour if you play a normal session, you know. So yeah, so I just found myself spending a lot of time with it. Then my parents just always loved confiscating it throughout the whole as in they only returned it back to me during the holidays, then I could play, you know. Then yeah. So yeah, they definitely saw that they saw the computer gaming as very negatively.
Yeah.
I mean, even now when I play computer games and quite late at night, they will also come and complain, you know, and tell me that
Oh yeah.
it will affect my academics. Yeah.
Okay, they didn't say affect my academics, but I don't know. As I grew up, right, they started citing weirder and weirder reasons. Like
So
like organ failure.
huh? What
I don't know.
organ failure?
Yep. I don't know. So yeah, but then like over time, you know, it's a trial that you have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
You push your bedtime further and further and further until you just back off. Like this idea is
What happens
terrible.
very often.
It's terrible. It is like socially incorrect. Your civics and moral education textbook will come to life and beat you for saying that, but I'm saying that it is an essential element
Yeah, I mean, I'm
of
quite sure.
growing up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess nowadays people that actually still sleep early, I guess it's just
It's a habit. Or they
yeah.
haven't completed the what should we call this? They haven't overcome the obstacles.
What obstacle?
You know, actually obstacles is a pretty it's not accurate enough, but I can't think of the right word to use. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
What was I
you're
saying before
going into you were talking about
Oh yeah,
how
identity.
it influences your identity a lot.
Okay. So you know how social groups work, right?
Nope. Please elaborate.
Okay, I mean, you know how basic social interaction works, right?
Yeah. I know.
If you break everything up and boil it down to its essential elements, it's I meet another fellow human being who has some overlapping interests with me.
Yeah.
Therefore, I want to go on adventures with this human being, which right now basically involves talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, friendship, yay. So
Oh my god.
what?
The way you said that was just so.
That's basically how friendship works.
Yeah, I know, but just the way you said.
Yeah. So anyway, let me just ask you this: do you think school shapes your identity at all? Do you think academics shape your identity at all?
I mean,
Or at
it
least like to
used
what
to
extent
shape.
does it shape your identity?
It used to shape my identity a lot until I realized that it doesn't really matter. Then from then on, it just didn't. From then on, it became less of. Okay. I mean, from then on, how should I put it? I would say that when it still mattered a lot to me, it was a large part of my identity. But then once I realized that it just didn't really matter, then yeah, it definitely decreased. But then I would say that until now, it definitely still has a certain influence over my identity. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you say the same?
What about academics?
Yeah. As in, yeah. As in, how much
I
does it
mean,
affect you then?
I would be lying if I said that I wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
But I don't like to have my self-worth judged by a bunch of numbers. And I think we've discussed the extreme cases many times over, where
The one where they completely
where academics
define.
like completely define you. So obviously that's no good. But like, well, I guess they do. They don't influence my identity, but they do influence like my actions. That's how I put it. Like, I won't say, oh, I am a studious person because I like to study. But it does definitely push me in certain directions. Does that count as identity, personality? I think to some extent, yeah. But really, I guess the issue of identity, right? I argue that one of the largest influences is what you do in your free time and what you are exposed to in your free time, which comes from the stuff you do in your free time.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'm saying all of this to push the message that I've wanted to get across for the last many years, that there is no such thing as an objectively good and objectively bad pastime. If I like if I like to play games, then so be it. Extreme cases are bad. Even an 8-year-old knows that an extreme case is bad. Even an 8-year okay, I won't discriminate against 8-year-olds, but anyone knows when they're addicted. And like we discussed, your job as the why am I giving parenting advice? But if you know that someone's addicted, you should know that they know they're addicted. And unless they are showing signs that they don't know they're addicted, you shouldn't scold them for being addicted. You should help them out of the addiction.
But
That's
then
it for
the problem is
that's it for computer gaming. As for any
no,
other,
but then for that one, right? Then how will you know whether it's an addiction or not? For example, you say that
yeah,
what
exactly. You don't know, so like you should just I think regarding these kinds of matters, you just gotta observe.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you think that you play maybe like 3 hours a day of Minecraft is not an addiction, and yet your parents are saying that it's an addiction, then
Okay, then this is a
that is it
matter.
an addiction or not?
Well,
Yeah.
this is a matter of perspectives and how you want to consult the dictionary. Addiction means you can't live without it. Something like that. If I'm not going to bother looking up the actual definition, but it implies that a certain reliance slash attachment to it. Yeah, that is how I'll classify. I assume you're googling now.
Addiction is. Give me a second. Wow, this is not helpful. Give me a second. I need to write addict.
Yeah, okay, but as you Google, right, I just want to continue pushing my message that if in the past my parents did impose a certain bit time on me, I think that I would have had more time to interact with my friends over Skype. Yes, Skype outdated technology. As we played Minecraft, and I think that having something in common with people is ultimately a good thing, because social interaction is more often than not a good thing. As much as I go around saying that, oh my god, I really hate social interaction, I just want to stay at home and do nothing all day long. Yeah. So are you done Googling?
Yeah. So instead, I googled addict because addiction. You just said that someone, because like the definition of addiction was someone that is addicted or something. So
Yes,
addict
Google
means
screen.
that one exhibiting a compulsive chronic psychological or psychological or physiological need for a habit reforming subject behavior or activity. So it's a chronic. It's like a compulsive need for it.
Yeah, so basically a more sophisticated version of whatever I said.
I feel what you've said, but okay.
Talked about reliance.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, it does overlap.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, well, no clear fix for distraction. Actually, I'm not sure, but I think let's come back to distraction later, since we're currently on topic of good and bad pastimes,
Yeah.
right? The third classification that I want to introduce is essential pastimes.
Oh, that's interesting.
What do
Yeah,
you think is
continue.
an essential pastime?
I mean, okay, wait. Is doing basic things such as brushing your teeth, eating lunch, that's not a pastime, right?
What do you think?
Yeah, I assume it's not. Then in that case, an essential pastime, is doing homework considered?
Okay, that is an obligation. That is not
So
a
it's
pastime.
then in that case, then I would say that I'll say that essential pastimes would just be pastimes that you must have in order to help you cope with life. I'm not sure.
I think I'll define it as like things that everyone is strongly encouraged, with an emphasis on strongly,
Mm-hmm.
to do.
Strongly encouraged
Like
to do.
an activity that everyone is strongly encouraged to participate in.
Such as
For the longest time ever.
exercising.
Okay, yeah, apart from exercise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for the longest time ever, one of the quote unquote essential pastimes is reading the news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I was in primary school, right, the news was practically worship.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this worshipping of the news was very effective in swaying me away from reading the news.
Yeah.
Because this whole issue of I don't want to be told what to do. I am an 11-year-old. I am a grown up now.
I mean, yeah, I heard a lot about how we need to read the news because it's for it's better for your vocab and everything, and then I ended up just completely not reading it. Just also
Yeah. So
because of that.
that okay. That is a separate issue on its own. The whole is it effective in is telling someone what to do effective in getting them to do said thing? And my answer is always no, don't do that. Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is okay. You know how we talked about reading, right? And we classified
Yeah.
it as we said that people classified it as a good pastime.
Yeah.
Do you think reading,
Mm-hmm.
specifically the news, is an essential pastime?
Do I think the news is it?
No,
I mean,
reading the news, not the news, just reading the news.
but then to be fair, if you categorize, what's it called? If you categorize, wait, what do you categorize earlier as a wait a minute, give me a second. Oh. Since you categorize doing homework as an obligation rather than a essential pastime, right? Then I would say that if you are forced to read the news for academics, and I mean, okay, to be honest, if you're interested in global affairs and anything like that, then yeah, sure, reading the news will become will just be a normal
Okay, I
pastime.
think
But
I need to clarify pastimes because I think you are deliberately trying to bend the definition here, which is
okay,
a kind of annoying.
okay,
A pastime is an activity that you do in your free time. The time spent doing homework is not considered free time. So, reading or like looking out for news articles or academic work is not considered a pastime. I'm talking about you have free time from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Therefore, you read the news. This kind of pastime.
okay.
And
Oh
now
wait, no,
with the with the
with
definition cleared
your
up and the
version of
boundaries laid spelled out clearly for you, answer
Mhm.
my question.
What I was trying to say was that if you are reading the news just because your teachers are okay, wait, okay, how should I phrase it? what I was trying to say wasn't that you read the news for a piece of work. I'm just saying that if you read the news, not because you want to, but because you have been kind of strongly pressured to, then I would say that it's not really that enjoyable. Actually, no.
Yeah, it's I
Actually,
know it's not enjoyable. I'm saying that whether
is it essential?
yes.
Is it essential? I have no idea. I
You
don't
could have
know
just said
how.
that. You could have just said that and spared us like so many minutes.
Because I was thinking about it because I mean, as someone that doesn't read the news frequently, I do not know how people that read the news really feel. So I do not know whether to them it's really that essential of a pastime. I mean, do you read the news as a pastime?
No. I read Reddit. I browse through Reddit as a pastime. That's the only newsy reading that I do. Because whatever happens in real life will make it to the internet one way or another. So I guess that is my connection to the outside world.
Mhm.
But if I wanted to respond to my own question, I would say that the news is overvalued. And I'm talking about news in like the traditional sense.
Uh-huh.
Newspapers, news articles. And you know how the common the most popular reason cited was so that you have a knowledge of current affairs.
Yeah.
Well, sure, I have more knowledge about current affairs. I have more general knowledge. But what does knowing what happened in, I don't know, some arbitrary country in the middle of Europe help me in any way?
I mean, I guess it can
Oh,
help you.
I know. President XYZ of country ABC stepped down today and is being replaced by President XYZ2.
Mm,
My life has been unaffected.
yeah, I guess. But then that's it. It also can be argued that knowing all of these, because for example, maybe if President XY, like the original president was maybe Democratic, and then, oh yeah, actually there's more US. But then, but then if for example, the first president was maybe Democratic and the second president is Republican, then maybe knowing the difference between these two ideologies might help you in the future, because after all, sooner or
How?
later we have to elect, right? And then maybe this can help us like raise our political knowledge and awareness.
Okay, but if I wanted to raise my political knowledge and awareness, I would just read up. I'll just do my research and read up. I won't casually flip through the newspaper at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'm just saying that if you like it, then just okay, go ahead, continue. You know, as I'm saying, leave me alone when I play computer games. So I'm just going to leave you alone if you choose to read the news. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't. And I've been saying this all the time. You shouldn't force your thinking on other people, and hence to all my primary school teachers, I no.
But then, whether a pastime is essential or not, wouldn't you also say that it depends on who is playing it?
What do you mean? Who's playing?
Oh wait, no, not who's playing it. As in who? Sorry, as in who is partaking in the pastime. For example, to you, maybe playing computer games has become a ritual, you know, and then so to you it has become essential because your day would be very. How should I put it? You feel very odd if you do not have it as part of your schedule, as your daily routine, you know. So therefore, it becomes important in that way.
Okay. If you want to view this question on a personal level, well, I guess essential is always uh it changes depending on the individual, but I'm talking about it in like the larger social sense.
So you mean like the socially as in
Well, what is considered socially essential? Well,
reading
at least in school,
news.
like what is considered
Oh, yeah.
essential is reading the news.
Yeah, then I guess also what else? But I guess reading the news wouldn't suffice, right?
This conversation is kind of going around in circles. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're saying just kind of supports the argument that what is essential depends on who you are talking about.
That's true.
So, yeah, I don't. Okay, just focusing on reading and like the news itself, right? Let's just split these two categories. Reading the news, I don't think it's essential. If I need to know something, I will Google it. If I need to look for case studies for my geog or econs or VM essays, I would just Google. Reading, on the other hand, may or may not be essential, depending once again on the individual. If you are trying to learn a new language, for example, and you choose not you actively avoid reading during your free time, then that I mean, like reading consuming media in the new language is essential. But then again, it could be argued that this is like a thing that you have to do, so maybe it's not a pastime. Yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
Point being, is essential, whatever. Just okay. Anything else you'd like to add to this pointless conversation?
Oh no, I was gonna say so can you just come to an agreement that all these things are subjective.
Yeah, I really don't like saying I don't really like concluding with everything is subjective, but in this case I really think that it is subjective. Just
because
do
it
what you
depends on
like,
your motivation.
attempt to convince people to like what you do, and just stop there. Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah, so
but I guess that's I
Uh-huh.
guess that is one thing that we can all agree regarding pastimes is that whatever activities you engage in is a distraction from obligations.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I don't think there's any like disputing that, right?
Yeah, I perhaps it's but then sometimes you might not even have obligations, and then you just have a lot of free time, and the pastime is just there. So I won't say it's always just a distraction from obligations, right? But yeah, I'll say more often than not, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just work on this 95% yes
nice.
thing. It's mostly a mostly yes. Like it's an overwhelming yes with like that small fraction of a no. But this is where I wanted to bring in your idea of dealing with mental fatigue. So, for me, I come back home from school, I am in no mood to do work, therefore I play games. For other people, they are in no mood to do work, so they do other things that make them happy.
Yeah.
Or like at least take their mind off the thing that they don't want to do.
Yep.
So that is a distraction. And that can be a good thing. But then over here, you suggested that mindfulness was an alternative.
Oh.
Can you elaborate?
Because right. Okay, do you remember how in secondary school there was a period of time in which they were pushing for mindfulness a lot?
They weren't pushing for it. They were practically forcing it down our throats.
yeah, kind of.
I'm quite sure
we did. They asked us to close our eyes, lower our heads, and then some people just slept. It was so funny.
Yeah, I think I just
I remember they said raise your heads, right? Then I looked around, and then I think I remember 3 people just still lying down. It was hilarious. Oh gosh, yeah, but yeah, I remember they started promoting grit. They're promoting grit, perseverance, and then they were they're pushing for grit a lot because it's a new concept. New concept. Then when mindfulness came along, they also wow, yeah, let's try this. Seems useful. I mean, I'm not saying that mindfulness, the practice itself is. I'm not saying that it's not useful because I actually think it is very useful, but then I just don't practice it. But then yeah, so the reason why I indicated it here is because what I wanted to say was that okay, so what I wanted to say was just that to deal with mental fatigue, I remember doing a independent study module on this before. in sales executive. You know ISM, right? Yeah, then it
Yes,
was
I
about,
had to do it.
I mean, we all had, all IP people had, all
Yeah,
people
yeah.
trying to go into IP. Yeah, so I remember sending out a survey asking people,
So you were this type of person that would flood my inbox. Oh, so
no, I actually only sent to my class people though,
Oh, okay,
because I
that's fine.
was too afraid to send to the whole level.
Yeah, I hate the level emails, especially the cross-level email. Okay,
But
that's a rant for another time. But okay, continue.
yeah. So I remember I remember concluding my whole presentation that okay, so okay, I mean it was the most, how should I put it, it's the most generic conclusion ever.
Yeah,
You should play it, but
it's
then it
average.
is in moderation.
You're talking about computer games, is it?
Yeah, computer games, yeah. But then I remember a few
Oh,
a few of the
lame.
things were just indicating that, yeah, but okay, fine. But a few of the things that were just the responses were just that, okay, yeah, I do this in order to relieve stress, and I also agree with that. But then yeah, but then when they brought in the idea of mindfulness, then I started thinking that, okay, so yeah, it's either you distract yourself or you try practicing things such as mindfulness that can help you perhaps directly like attack the problem, because when you're mindful, you think about, okay, so for example, okay, maybe give me a problem, maybe the most generic problem, I'm not doing well for English. And maybe if you distract, you can easily distract yourself from this reality by just playing computer games, or you can just you can
Actually, no, no. I don't think we should talk about chronic problems. But we should talk about acute problems, like I have homework that I want to do tomorrow. That I need to finish by tomorrow.
oh,
Because I think chronic
but you
problems
just really do not have the mood, is it? Is that what
yeah,
you're trying to
because
say?
chronic problems require more attention. I think we talked about this before, but yeah.
Okay, then we shall go with your acute problems then. So
Okay.
okay, fine. Maybe I do not want to do work, but then then you, yeah. So basically, it's either you distract yourself, and then because to me, right, how I view this do you view playing computer games, or maybe browsing, or looking through my phone before exam, it's just that I just think that, okay, I'm going to relax my brain now, and then it's gonna, so that later I have more energy to study. So that is that's how I view my distractions and how it can, yeah. But then what mindfulness would do is just that how do I phrase it though?
Well, mindfulness. Okay. Well, okay. Maybe this question will help you along. Do you think there's a difference between mindfulness and distraction, or like at least in what ways are they similar?
Okay, I'll say what they're different about first. Mindfulness is
Oh,
when
really?
you
Okay.
directly ask yourself why you have these problems. For
Is
example,
that really it? Wait, are you
is it
sure
not?
that's it?
It's wait, okay, you know what? I've never really practiced this in like 2 years.
Here you are coming up with a solution that you don't even like
Yeah, the quality or state of being conscious or aware of
conscious
something. Yeah, you
conscious.
focus on one's present moment,
Yes.
acknowledging your emotions, thoughts, bodily sensations.
Are you wait,
Yes.
really? Your emotions and thoughts are factored in.
I mean, that is what the dictionary says. Or
Wait,
calmly
really?
acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations, used as a therapeutic technique.
Feelings, thoughts, and
It's a mental
huh.
state.
Wait, really? I always thought it was just okay. I always thought that was the acknowledgement part, but just acknowledging the things that you feel, like feel as in like with your body, and like the sounds and the smells, and not the immaterial stuff.
Wait, huh? But here they very clearly said feelings, thoughts, and bodily. Oh, so
Yeah,
you
no, so,
always thought it's just
no,
your.
because okay, no. The thing with your definition, right, is that there's feelings and thoughts. Like
Yeah.
if I place my palm on like the table, I feel that the table is very rough. That is a
Oh.
feeling, and I'm thinking that the table is rough. So,
Oh, but you're
I,
not
I
sure.
oh, yeah, that's why I when you said you using like mindfulness involves confronting the problem, I thought, huh?
Hmm. I mean, yeah, it can help you effectively. It can help you learn to apply and manage your emotions effectively through mindful thought and action. So it's a sort of helping you manage your emotions and your feelings and thoughts.
Yeah. I know it's that,
Hmm. Yeah, but then
but
yeah,
but
I-
I think that the reason I asked the question, right, that brought in distraction, because I think it's just a fancier distraction that
It's just a
is easier
fancy
to
what?
break out. It's a fancier distraction that is easy to break out of. So let's say, for example, I don't want to do sit work, so I start up a game of.
Minecraft. Yeah, just stick with Minecraft.
We're gonna go with Dota because I don't like Dota.
Dota 2.
Whatever. Oh, there's a Dota 2. I thought it was just Dota and normal Dota. Okay.
No, Dota 1 is a different game.
Okay, whatever. I'm gonna
Oh.
start up a mobile game,
Yeah.
and mobile games take forever to finish.
Yeah.
And at the end of one, do you feel like playing another one? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, right?
Yeah, it depends on it
Yeah,
depends on the
so-
emotions I've carried over from the last game.
Ah,
For sure. Yeah.
the tilt, the salt,
Yeah,
the
it's
toxicity.
either
the
either very
pride.
salty.
yeah. Okay. So
Ah.
let's not use gaming jargon. But there is the risk of I'm going to repeat the same lengthy process again.
Mhm.
Whereas for mindfulness, there is no round. There are no rounds. And let's be honest, sitting there with your eyes closed still is very, very, very boring.
Yeah. I guess that's why.
And if anything,
Yeah,
there's
I
the
guess that's why I don't
emphasis. There's the there is the emphasis on feeling the stuff around you. Because okay, there's this meme where it's like how to slow down time, just blank. You can feel like your body hurting, right? That's why time is slowed down then, and you want to like get out of it as fast as possible. In some ways, I feel that mindfulness is kind of like that. You sit there, and while your body's not in pain, you feel the activity taking place. 1 second of mindfulness feels longer than 1 second of a Dota match.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's this idea, and you want to get out of mindfulness as soon as maybe not as soon as possible, but like there is like over time there is a desire to get out of mindfulness, and that time comes sooner than say playing games. You just need to feel that you have been distracted enough.
I guess just because, okay, for example, when you're mentally fatigued, if you get distracted, you are looking away from the problem. But then mindfulness makes you directly confront the problem, and also since you aren't really, because since you're just gonna face the problem, so it's a lot faster, and I guess that's why people promote it because it's also more effective in you curbing your problems, right?
I disagree with almost everything you said, because I don't think that's how mindfulness works for me. Because if I wanted to confront a problem, I won't call that. I mean, that is technically being mindful of the problem, but I don't think that counts. Well, at least I won't count it as mindfulness.
You won't count what is mindfulness?
Confront, like being real with yourself and being real with the problem in front of you. That is, I need to do my homework. I will use mindfulness as a distraction to just. It is that time where you are actively sleeping, in a way.
Oh, so basically, okay, wait. So I guess we are defining mindfulness very differently.
Yeah, I'm completely rejecting your definition because I feel that that's a separate issue altogether. So, using my definition, right? It is much. You feel finished. Like you feel distracted. Way as in you feel more satisfied faster. It's like okay, I'm done. Like my distraction is done. I'm now. I now have the mental capacity to engage in this horrible activity called doing my homework. Whereas for games, you don't actively feel the distraction. You don't actively feel yourself disconnecting from your work. You get sucked into another world. Whereas mindfulness just disconnects you from the real world. I think there's a subtle difference there. Both are escapism, but one you escape further.
Wait. Do you mind re-explaining what exactly is your definition of mindfulness? Because I'm getting very confused. So is your definition of mindfulness just that?
No.
You just feel about
we're using the same definition, like the same literal definition. The words are the same, but to you, thoughts and feelings include
emotions.
No. Do you thoughts and just let me speak for 2 seconds. Thoughts and
Okay.
feelings include thinking about the acute stresses and the chronic stresses. Whereas for me, thoughts and feelings only include what I can physically feel and my thoughts to my physical feelings. My chair is extremely comfortable or my chair is extremely hard. These very basic feelings.
I mean, yeah, I would just agree to disagree then because
Yeah. We've really established that we can't agree.
okay then.
Yeah.
But then if when you are in that phase of mindfulness you actually face your problems, then I would say that it would be more effective. Yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
We can deal with your definition later. But I'm trying to say that there are two layers to escapism.
Mm-hmm.
For mindfulness, you only escape. You only have one layer of escapism. You disconnect yourself from your stress. Whereas for, let's say, the only example I can use is computer gaming. Computer gaming, you have two layers of you escape through two layers. You disconnect yourself from your stresses, and you enter a virtual world.
Actually, right.
And I feel that
Another
it's
example.
much. Okay.
Oh no, not to say another example we can use is reading. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. That reading too. It's a two-layer thing.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Okay. This is where we can criticize reading. It's much harder to go through two layers than just one layer. Reading, you can get immersed in your world and you don't want to come out. Gaming, same thing. Whereas mindfulness, there is no world to be immersed in. You're still very much in your physical world. I was about to say trapped, but there's a negative connotation to it. So, yeah. Okay, so that's it for mine. And the reason I'm hesitant to label your definition as mindfulness is because I think that's kind of under facing your problems and not really mindfulness.
Because to me, right, I always thought that mindfulness was was like a sort of how should I put it?
No, I know what you're trying to say, and I think it's a very, very valid approach. But it does require a certain mental strength, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true.
You need the
I
mental
guess if you
capacity
consider
to
that
face the
to
problem.
face the problems,
But
yeah.
for me, I feel that mindfulness is a time for me to just, okay, my brain is going to do nothing. My brain is going to operate very primordially.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. If you put it that way, then I can kind of. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with your view, but then yeah, I kind of understand your view.
Yeah,
more now.
exactly. That's why
Yeah.
if you couldn't already tell, I was a bit frustrated with your definition.
I was getting confused because I didn't get your definition.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so
Okay.
that's it for mindfulness. So, I think that when it comes to dealing with mental fatigue, right, it's just mindfulness is always great because it's much the time it takes to get to a point of satisfaction is faster. You sit there for 5 minutes, you get bored already.
Yeah.
Whereas for Dota, you sit there for 30 minutes, you might want to play for another 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
You wanted to read like a chapter, you end up reading a whole book.
Yeah.
And for me, I find that one DVD game around 10 minutes is good enough for me. And it actually kind of works, so it's integrated into my routine.
Yeah. Then okay.
Yeah.
Then why not we? Oh, so the ability of you to pull yourself out of it. Yeah.
No, because
that's quite.
I play a game and then like I sometimes I feel like playing another game, but then I go, no. I'm done. I don't feel my craving for one game has been satisfied by the one game. So I can pull myself out of it.
Oh, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think it works for me, right? But some people go, if you want to be the pseudo sophisticated wise person, you go, oh no, I prefer to just sit there with my emotions and stuff. Yeah. So people will say that distractions are bad. Yeah, I strongly disagree. And people say that mindfulness is a distraction. I also disagree.
So basically, I'm just saying that there's just a lot of factors, right?
Yeah. I'll say
yeah.
that to deal with mental fatigue, do what you like.
Or more of maybe why don't you put it as do what you feel like doing at the moment, or do what fits you more at the moment. Because after all,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if
Because sometimes
dealing with physical fatigue, right? You just rest.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
With you physically rest for physical fatigue, and then for
Yeah.
me, it's you mentally rest for mental fatigue. That's why I play TPD, so I can kill people virtually.
Oh my god. Yeah, but
But you get the point, right?
yeah, I do get the point. But then it also depends on what sort of mental fatigue you're facing. Because if you're being burdened by problems, maybe practicing a bit of mindfulness is better because you actually solve the problems rather than distracting yourself from the problems. You know,
If you go
Like,
by your
you
definition,
do
and if you're dealing with chronic stresses, yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Your method
okay.
works, but it takes
Okay.
mental strength. But if
Yeah.
I'm just really stressed, right, and I go, okay, I'm going to confront my stress. You bet I'm
Yeah,
having a
then
breakdown later.
distractions. Yeah. That's why there's just many factors.
Yeah. So
Mm.
this is one statement that I made that I'm now not comfortable with, and it's the statement I made like 1 minute ago.
Which is
To deal with mental fatigue, do what you like. And there is one glaring problem with that, which is
what you like might not. help.
addiction.
Oh.
And we've briefly covered this, and the reason I wanted to save it for now is because I think it flows better.
Okay.
You know, you've talked about routines and rituals, right?
Yeah.
And last year when we did IOM,
Mm-hmm.
routines and
that
rituals
was
were
a
seen as
key
were seen
thing.
as something great because it gives what more
Identity.
yeah, it gives a sense of identity, stability, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You just
Okay,
like throw all those keywords into the paper to
Mhm.
oh okay, should not be okay yeah yeah. So routines and rituals great. It is a for some of the characters in ROM, it served as a distraction. It gave them a sense of order. For me, my DBD routine, right? It gives me a sense of order and it serves its purpose as a distraction. I get to work after work. Well, that usually happens more often than not, which I'm glad for because other times I nap. My 10-minute nap turns into a 2-hour nap.
But I'm surprised you actually have 10-minute naps because I don't think I can wake up in 10 minutes.
No, I set an alarm and because I'm a light sleeper. But
Oh, okay.
the thing, okay, let's just sidetrack a bit because I think it's funny. I napped. There's one time I napped at 4-ish. I wanted to do like a quick 20-minute nap.
Okay.
But then my body like it automatically woke up after 5 minutes.
Huh?
And I was feeling
Oh.
fully rested and everything. Like I had a whole like dream sequence. It lasted 5 minutes.
What? Oh, that's so good.
And then I
What?
felt very like awake. But
Yeah.
because I am 17, I was lazy, so I I stayed in bed. And the next time I woke up was an hour plus later. So yeah. Okay. That was the side story.
Okay.
Now back to routines and rituals and addiction.
Mm.
There is the risk that you become overly reliant on the routine. Say that in order to de-stress, you play computer games, but one game is not enough. So maybe you play two. And
Yeah.
for a DVD game, that's about 20 minutes. I think that's still reasonable. For an Overwatch game, maybe that is a bit longer, but still I think reasonable if it lasts in the 30 to 40-minute range because that's like the time of break in our timetable, right? And then
Yeah. Okay.
for reading, maybe say you read a chapter, 2 chapters. I don't know how long a chapter length is, but it's
At
fine.
most maybe half an hour. At most 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think that is fine, right? But then there's some people like, okay, I will need a break. I will need 3 hours worth of computer game time.
It's not a break anymore.
It is a break in the literal sense, but
But if it's
suppose that you really need to get something done. Okay,
Mhm.
you know how we get dismissed really late at 4:30? It takes about an hour to get home because the transportation system is terrible.
Okay, yeah.
It is terrible because of the lack of connectivity. There's always the last kilometer. The problem is the last kilometer. The
Yeah.
train is fast.
Mhm.
I am not a train. That is the problem.
Okay.
So it takes you a while to get home. For me, it's if I rush, it's 40 minutes, but usually it's an hour. I get back at, let's say, 5:30. I need to do stuff like shower
Yeah.
and change and throw my stuff in my room.
Mm-hmm. Basically settle down now, right?
Yeah. And let's say that I need a 3-hour period
Mm-hmm.
to play games.
Yeah, then it just
That is excessive, right? But
yeah, it's excessive.
that
What?
is definitely an addiction. Don't you think so? Do you think that is an addiction?
Wait, this is given that there is work to be done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then yeah, for sure, I'll say that is an addiction because it very clearly shows how you're unable to prioritize between finishing your work and playing games, and then once it reaches that sort of level in which you cannot differentiate like what is more important, what is less important, then yeah, then I would say that's definitely an addiction.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but then I think the main issue we want that I wanted to discuss when talking about addiction, right, is that at what point do we consider distraction excessive?
At what point
Like
do
where is the line that we draw between
oh,
a distraction and an addiction?
addiction. I guess yeah. One good standard is just what
Because
one wait yeah
yeah,
one oh wait, no, I just want to say as you said earlier, right, one important factor would definitely be the idea of whether you have anything to do. Because, for example, if you are very free and it's like maybe a holiday and you already finish all of your work, then yeah, a 3-hour gaming session is um I can guess you can argue that it's not necessarily an addiction because you already finished all your work, right? It's just a distraction and maybe just
well,
a longer
I'm not sure specifically which group of professionals will disagree with you, but I said I'll okay. I assume that statisticians will disagree because one sample is not sufficient to support your claim that it is not an addiction. If I have a 3-hour gaming session, actually 3 hours is quite little now that I think about it. During the holidays, I wake up
okay, yeah.
at
I
10
remember having
and then I play to
yeah.
lunch and then after lunch I play to dinner and then after dinner I play to bed.
Sometimes I don't even eat.
And
Oh, sometimes I eat lunch, then I play all the way until dinner, and then I
yeah,
eat and play.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So okay. So
And that's when my parents get mad because they're like, "What else do you do?" I say I go to the toilet,
are you serious?
I eat,
Yes.
I sleep, and nothing
So
else.
so I guess we shouldn't like I guess just don't put a
Okay,
certain number of hours
yeah. So
in
it's hard to
just
count addiction.
quantify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to
So,
quantify addiction.
okay. So let's just discuss the factors that influence whether something is considered an addiction. Okay. Yeah. Then one of them I would say for sure is whether you have to do something else that is important. For example, work. Because yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I feel that you being able to sort between whether this is the right time for a break and the right time to do work, like I feel that it's very key in determining whether you have an addiction or not. And addiction would just be one in which in which your impulse for playing and getting distracted just kind of uh how should I say, it's just a lot stronger than your impulse of knowing or your okay, not impulse of your thoughts that very clearly said that okay, I need to do work, yeah. So I feel that's one of the factors.
You know, when you put it that way, it makes people sound unsophisticated in their thinking. Oh my window just okay. Yeah, yeah. You see. I'm responding to impulses and like the immediate
uh okay,
because
so can you
for me, right, the reason I'm a bit skeptical of whatever you're talking about is because I do feel that I'm addicted to certain things, but I'm
Mhm.
also able to like
Pull yourself out of it.
and actually focus on work and you know how we talked about the instant gratification monkey in episode
Yeah.
4? Yeah, apparently it's the instant gratification monkey. I call it procrastination monkey. I haven't watched a TED Talk in forever. But
Mhm.
yeah, the whole reason I pulled out of the virtual world, right, is it's not because like the panic monster was there. The panic monster isn't gonna be here for at least a very long time. So
Okay.
I feel that I am able to fight off the monkey, but at the same
Yeah.
time, take away the internet for an extended period of time and I'm unable to function. And not being able to function is the sign. It is a
Addiction.
commonly it is a condition
Oh.
element of addiction. Everybody says that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I remember. I remember someone saying that an addiction is when you suffer withdrawals without the thing. But then a problem that comes with that is that then in that case, uh, then you have to kind of separate between good and bad addictions because regardless you have a withdrawal, right?
Yeah,
Then it comes down
exactly.
to then it comes down to the problem of if someone perceives it as bad, is it necessarily a bad addiction? There will be
Well,
go.
bad addiction. Okay, see the thing with bad addiction, right? It sounds redundant. So maybe our
Mm-hmm.
scope of discussion is wrong. Maybe the thing we should discuss is, are routines and rituals a good thing?
Are they
Or
a good?
well, okay, let us phrase it in a more academically acceptable way. To what extent? And whatever I said.
Uh-huh. Oh,
The
to what extent is it a good thing? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if we go with the more extreme case of I am unable to function if I don't do XYZ in this order at this time
Mm-hmm.
over this duration, I guess that's
Oh,
an addiction. And that
oh,
is under the bad side of routines and rituals. Actually, it's not a
oh.
ritual, it's just routine.
I'm unable to function if I don't do it. But then it also depends on what it is, because for example, if someone says that, I cannot function, I cannot go through the day without drinking a cup of coffee, then okay, wait.
That is addicted
Oh
to
yeah,
coffee. What?
that is an addiction. Yeah, that's true. No, I was trying to think of a positive habit that people can possibly say that they cannot do without. How about perhaps saying that
Let's say
that
like
that
like okay, let's go with your mindfulness thingy. I take
uh,
10 minutes a day to reflect on the chronic stresses in my life and actively um work out a solution
okay, okay,
to deal with it, or like at the very least confront it. I think that is a good thing. No, it's
hmm
hard to disagree that.
facing your problems is bad.
Yeah, like how are
uh,
you gonna argue that?
mhm.
So I guess that would be a positive example.
Yeah. So if it's that, then will you still say that the presence of okay, then if you do it every single day, yeah, it's an addiction, right? Based on
I think okay, I just suddenly thought of this.
uh
It depends on how efficient your distraction is. If you take if you take 6 games to be able to convince yourself that you need to do work, it is likely an addiction and it's likely not it is likely an addiction and therefore a bad thing. But if you're able to regulate yourself with one Candy Crush level that takes 2 minutes, I think that's fine.
so you're saying that so basically you're saying that time is very
It's like
important.
how do you like how nicely does it fit into your overall hectic schedule?
Okay. Yeah, I can accept that. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Um
So
mhm.
so that's for distractions, right? Then as for routines, I think routines are it is subjective. Some people like to do different things every day, which doesn't work in society. Where some people like a sense of stability. So once again, this is This is where I
Subjective.
have to sigh and say it is subjective.
Yeah.
Although I'm leaning towards it's a good thing. Because imagine just like anarchy.
Oh, give me a second. Let me. Anarchy, right? Oh, disorder. Okay, absence of.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I would still say that if we're following your idea of like effectiveness, right? Then I'll say then routines and rituals will
No,
definitely be
not
important.
effectiveness, like efficiency.
Or efficiency. Yeah. Then routines and rituals are definitely crucial. Right? Because after all, most of our day we are just running on autopilot. So without these routines and rituals, right, we will just be. I feel we will just be wasting like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, actually,
Because wondering what should we do now? What should I do now?
you know, now that I think about it, right? If
Mhm.
I am able to factor in my 3-hour gaming session
Mm-hmm.
into my hectic schedule, yet still stay on top of my work.
Then I'll say that's not really an addiction, right?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, because like when I say that I take a 10-minute DBD break, right? There are also other breaks in the middle of my work sessions where I go, my phone is here. Oh, dinner time. Oh, toilet break. Oh, time to go grab food from the kitchen. Those minutes add up. So
Yeah.
and those are the non-planned 4 minutes that get wasted
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, those are your mini distractions. Then
And
computer
then
game is just like your major.
yeah, and then
part.
sometimes I usually like listen to music in the background.
Okay, yeah.
And but
Ah.
and sometimes I want to change like the track that is currently playing. So I click
Just
the
you scroll
recommended.
through.
But
Yeah, you
sometimes
scroll
recommended
through.
doesn't have something I like, so I have to I have to type something new into the YouTube search bar. Yes, I don't listen to Spotify music.
I mean, I also
So
don't. Wow.
yeah, I just listen to instrumental stuff. So I have to search for new stuff, and then when I click on the YouTube homepage, there's nice recommended screen, and then my mouse clicks on one video, and then there we go, more minutes not factored in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So
uh,
just
I think that is evidence for we need routine.
we need what?
We need routine and order and planning,
Yeah, for sure.
because
Oh,
it is. I think that it's much better to plan to waste 3 hours than to accidentally waste 2 hours.
mm-hmm. I would say it's not even 2 hours. I'll say that if you add all those like procrastinations also, because sometimes if yeah, I mean sometimes even if you don't get distracted, you might just be staring at your screen and not really thinking, then that's also
Yeah, exactly.
So if you add all those little times, it's probably as
Yeah,
bad as this plan on.
there's also the daydreaming time, which
Oh
is a
yeah.
big problem for me because sometimes I stare at the screen and then I go, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could shoot people without consequences?
Are you serious? I mean, I daydream, but I don't daydream about this sort of things. But yeah, but sometimes daydreaming is like
What if
equal.
what if shooting people was a sport?
Are do you actually
Well,
really
with reference to like Touhou. Okay, you understand,
Ah,
right? You understand, right? Yeah.
I don't really, but then okay, sure. I'll
I
question
like
you.
to think of like alternative realities
Okay.
of my
Interesting.
design, of course. So yeah, that's the daydream part.
Yeah, but yeah, daydreaming is yeah, it takes up so much time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I'm glad that now we are able to agree on what something is and means.
Mm-hmm.
Routines are good. Well, mostly good. There is the problem of not being flexible, because some especially for okay for group work, right, it's very
Mm-hmm.
volatile.
Yeah.
You may have a plan, your group may have planned, okay, we're gonna do this, but sometimes um this overruns, that happens. Groupmate A fell sick, and therefore they're whatever.
Honestly, right, I can kind of say for sure that at least in Sec 3 and Sec 4, right, whatever projects we did, right, because I'm quite sure no groups actually followed their plan. Because of,
Or there's also sometimes, do they even have a plan?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
For me, like, I like to like factor in the group's plans into my own schedule, so it doesn't
Oh,
annoy me sometimes when like they
Last
change.
minutes.
Yeah, but like, I understand, but I'm frustrated.
Okay.
If they're lazy, I am extremely frustrated. But like, if the circumstances don't work out, let's say that's suddenly there's a holiday, then or there's a very urgent project that we need to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, then.
that does frustrate me, but it's more of like a okay.
Yeah, understandable.
So yeah, but I still
Mhm.
think that having something to guide you is good.
Yeah. It just spares you a lot of time that you would end
Yeah,
up like wasting on thinking of what to do.
yeah. If anything, it goes back to the idea of separating your animalistic mind and speaking to yourself as though you were another person. Like, hey, focus now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Anything else to add before we go off?
Wait. Oh, actually, right. Actually, since we talk about rituals, why don't we discuss a bit about vacations and how they're like a complete break from our rituals.
I think, huh? Okay. Vacations
Yeah,
are
it's,
a good
it's
example of why routine is bad. Because you get bored.
of oh yeah.
Mm,
So maybe that is why
there's
that's why
this
experiencing new
there's
things
this thing I read from somewhere that you should take more vacations, not longer vacation. And the
Oh,
ideal
is it
time for a
because
vacation is 4 days.
is it because like once you get accustomed to or once you develop a routine in the new place that you travel to, then you will just start getting bored from there. Is that
No,
why?
okay, well, I think it was some article, right? But I only read the header because like it appeared like somewhere. I didn't really read like
Okay.
whatever they actually.
Uh-huh.
But maybe.
I feel like that's a possible reason, right?
And the one thing I hate about vacations, right, is that it has to happen on a school holiday. But school holidays are
Oh,
relatively short when you look at your 10-day vacation.
oh
Like,
yeah, that's
okay, I
true.
will be leaving on the 9th of December and I'll come back when oh my goodness, I'm gonna come back when school is about to reopen. It's just
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, exactly. Then plus the first day of reaching there, booking into the hotel, then by the time your body clock actually gets accustomed to that, if you're traveling like far, then your holiday will be like one third gone already.
yeah, exactly. Like it's just 1 week of doing nothing
Has
locally.
become 3 days
Yeah,
effectively doing nothing.
but no, going overseas is great, but like you feel as though like you missed out because like I love my computer games at home.
You love your what or computer games? Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I love like calling my friends. So
Mhm.
like a 10-day holiday comes and goes. Okay, you see the spirit? No.
Well, I remember there was one time I was tempted to bring my you know I have like a bigger size computer that I use to play games because I don't have a PC.
Okay, I believe that's called a gaming laptop.
Okay, fine. So one time I was very tempted to bring it overseas, despite it being like what 3 kg,
Oh my goodness.
just to play Dota there. And then I was traveling to somewhere in China, so that was like so I would have to download VPN to even play the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it wasn't the smartest choice, but yeah. So I guess that also goes to show how much routines and rituals really influence our lives, right? So
I,
after all,
I, I, won't, I wouldn't say influence as much as it is essential.
essential. Hmm.
Yeah, the, that is the only thing that I would say is essential. A sense of order. Or like, at least like something that guides you. If your plan for every day is to just, I'm just going to leave tomorrow's me to decide what I'm going to do. That's
Oh
problematic.
yeah, that
Some people
is.
like the
Yeah.
freedom, but there's still a direction that they're heading towards.
Then I guess you can also say that it just depends on what your aims are, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
if your aims are just to relax, then then for sure you can just decide it on the actual day, right? You don't have to be very effective about relaxing, you know?
Yeah, you don't have to plan the
Yeah,
relaxation.
you don't have to plan it because you just impromptu
But
something.
still, like on the grand, like on the larger level, right? You need to plan
Mhm.
when you are going to not plan.
You have to
Like in your mind, you still have to, okay, I'm going to block out these
Yeah,
few
fine.
days to do nothing. That's still
Mhm.
planning, essentially.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that you should. Okay, regarding this topic on distractions and routines, right?
Mhm.
This is where I would say that I don't think it's doing things in moderation. I think it's just adjusting things in a way that it works. As in, you
So
do things in
isn't
a way that satisfies both you, your needs, your wants, and your responsibilities.
it just basically doing it in moderation?
I mean, yeah, you do moderate. As in, like, my stance isn't that you should. You know, there's the extreme, and then there's like the moderate. Yeah, I don't think it's moderate.
So
I think it's just okay. Do whatever.
then why not just put it that you do it in moderation, but then the idea of what is moderate and what is extreme varies from person to person.
No, but no. I think what I'm trying to okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I just trying to remember why I said it's not moderation. I do think that you should plan when you are going to do nothing, which is why I'm leaning towards you need a sense of order. Although I do agree that there are problems with
This
fixed
idea.
routines,
Uh-huh.
and as you've pointed out, the holidays are are evidence of the problems of routines.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's yeah, I
Okay, well,
agree.
at least we are ending off this break,
On a
cool
nice
down episode nicely, as opposed to how we
usually ended.
we usually ended
Usually,
half tired.
usually just like, yeah, okay. That is a wrap.
Yes.